Hey everybody, my name is Logan Browning and I play Samantha White on Netflix's Dear White People. And now on the show, my character has a very loud voice on campus. And truth be told, I have a pretty big voice myself. I use it to share messages of equality, empathy, and particularly exercising your right to vote. Now, even if you aren't 18 yet, you can still encourage other people to register to vote, as well as using your voice to talk about the things that matter most to you. That is the message that I shared when I surprised some RISE students on the forum. Check it out, join the conversation, and use your power to get out the vote.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today with everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about our roles as citizens in the United States, particularly how youth, like you all, can inspire action through the act of voting. So let's introduce each of you. Zachariah is a graduating senior class of 2020 from DaVinci Rise High, and he is a creator, a lover of music, writing, and individualism, and he hopes to promote personal uniqueness as well as the universal uniting power of love for one another. Kiera is finishing up her first year at Rise, and she loves to write poetry and try new recipes, and she's extremely passionate about LA's housing crisis. I'm Lauren Murray. I am the English instructor at DaVinci Rise High, and I have the privilege of teaching both these students in so many in LA. So, a little background on voting in the United States to help ground us in what we're going to do today. So, believe it or not, the Constitution does not grant us, as citizens of the United States, the right to vote in our democracy. However, it was the fight for particular amendments in our Constitution that now permits equal protection for all to vote. For myself, it wasn't until the 19th Amendment was passed that I, as a white woman, had the right to fill out a ballot. But that wasn't extended to all women in this country, particularly those of color or immigrants, and especially Americans who weren't able to pay poll taxes or pass literacy tests. So while other amendments have passed since then to lift those restrictions, there are still sadly a lot of real barriers in voting in our society today. So voting is regulated by states and cities to designate the necessary identification needed to come to the polls, to operate at certain hours and close at certain hours, let people in or stop people from coming in, and where those polls can be and accessibility to those polls. So that's why knowledge is so important and it's so powerful. Just knowing the ability that you have the ability to vote, how to register to vote, where to go to vote is not straightforward, but knowing that can be so important. So today, with the help of one of the most influential voting activists in our country, we're going to demonstrate for everybody a little bit what it takes to register to vote and how important it is for us to use our voice, to choose our voice for communal action. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce a guest who is an expert at motivating the masses, star of Dear White People, and a voting rights activist, Logan Browning.
Hey! What's up?
Woo!
Hey guys. I loved the pomp and circumstance of you reliving your graduation, Zach. That was incredible. So thank you for that. Congratulations on graduating. Kiera, it's so nice to meet you. And congratulations on is this your first year or second year?
My first year.
It's your first year. Well, congratulations. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm excited to be here. You guys seem to have a super dope teacher, Lo. I'm very impressed. Thank you for sharing that. Great teachers are to be appreciated. So, and I can see in your eyes that you guys have that appreciation for her. For me, when it comes to voting, I feel like I was really lucky because my parents, they were voters and always took me with them to the polls. You know, I feel like growing up, I got to see how exciting it was. I'm from Georgia, so we had the peach sticker, you know, the you voted sticker, and it was always really exciting. And that's something that I hope that whether or not, you know, your families are doing that for you or not, that at least your teacher and this experience continues to do for you, that it is an enjoyable experience. It shouldn't be something that's taxing. You know, it's a beautiful thing to use our voices and use that right. And for me, similar to what Lo said, is like, you know, as you learn the history and you realize this is not a right that we've always had, it for me at least makes me want to honor all of our ancestors for the work that they did in this place that we are right now. I want to know why it's important for you to vote when you have that right. I know, Zach, it's coming up soon. You'll be able to register. And Kiara, like, how do you feel your influence can be made on your family and the people around you?
I'm 15 and I can't vote yet, but it's important for older generations to vote because locally we need people to support changes for the homelessness crisis in Los Angeles.
I love that you have that on your heart already right now. I live in Los Angeles, so I'm appreciative that that's something that you have on your heart already. And what about you, Zach?
Learn the hard way that, being in a hood is more a mentality than an actuality, that it's something that I manifested into myself with the perception of who I am as a fraction in society, as someone that is, a 33%, a minority. So when I realized that my voice, that my power was actually being manifested into my environment, I denied that. I ran from that to go to my mentality of hood. And so when I said, I need to vote now, it's like, I just need to be free of a capitalistic mentality.
That's amazing. And thank you so much for sharing it. It's vulnerable and it's honest and it's you. And I think that is what drives home this conversation of how do we ask other people to vote. And it's being honest, is sharing our own experiences, and understanding that our own experience is a shared experience, right? Like you are not on an island by yourself. There are people who share your experience, and that's important for you to tell other people and ask for them to support you.
I would just add to Zachariah's and Kiara's point, I really love that both of you all brought up issues, because I think voting especially can be such a misconception that it only matters about our president. And really the way that we're going to enact change is through local elections and statewide elections. And so both of you bring up really important issues that need your environment. And so that can't happen unless we are aware of people who are running for office or any kind of movement that's trying to be made to resolve those issues.
Okay, so let's get into what we are going to share with everybody today. We're going to go through our role play of what it looks like to canvass voters to register everyone to vote. And it is 2020, it is an election year, but it is going to be an election year like none other, considering that we are in a pandemic and social distancing doesn't permit us to go around and knock on people's doors necessarily. So just keep in mind that when we are actually trying to canvass people to vote, it could be phone calls, it could be text messages, it could be emails. There's a lot of other ways for us to canvass other than door to door. So Logan is going to walk us through how this is going to work, and we'll play the role of a resident who you will knock on the door of. And you all have your script with you, correct? Great. And afterwards, Logan and I will just give you some feedback on how you did, especially praise everything that you had to say, but then also give some tips on how to just be the best canvasser there could be.
One thing that you guys already have right now, which is really important, is your smiles. It lets me into your soul, lets me into your personality. It lets me know that I can trust you, that you're friendly, that you're approachable, that you're kind and your intentions are good. So I would say lead with that because it's your truth, definitely lead with that approachability. I'll say you guys are both very knowledgeable just because you've had experiences in this world and speak from your experiences. You've both already done that. You don't have to know everything. I don't know everything. No one knows everything. And guess what? The people who you're canvassing, they don't know either. They don't know everything, okay? They don't. And no one, you know what I mean? So it's a conversation. So keep it as such. You don't want to, if you're at someone's door, you're not like, ding dong, hi, I'm robot, go vote, because they're going to shut the door probably. We don't know. But so just remember, it's a conversation and allow yourself to relax into that conversation. Also avoid confrontation. I'll say that's something that I've had to work on recently. Like, honestly, I have, because a lot has been going on. As always, I've been even reading a book called Difficult Conversations, right? So I think that it's really important to, if you feel that animosity or that tension from someone else, know that it's not your job to control them, right? We don't control the people. We don't control what happens. We have our self-control, and you keep on with that conversation. And I think be upfront about why you're there. Be upfront about what your goal is, and be very clear. So I hope that that's helpful. And if they don't want to converse with you, leave that information. Be safe. You would always want to be safe. I think, like, Kiera, if I were you, I would definitely make sure I'm going with an adult. Like, I would never recommend that you're going to doors by yourself or going with a friend. Zach, you too, you're young. I would still recommend you going in a pair, and never go into anyone's house. We don't know what goes on behind people's doors. We hope they're voting behind the doors, but we don't know. So who's going to be my first victim?
So yeah, Zach is going first.
Hi, my name is Zach Brown, and I'm just here to ask you if you considered registering to vote.
Yeah, I have considered it. I'm really interested, actually.
Okay, well, I could leave you some information, and you could contact us online.
Yeah, I'm not really good with the computer, honestly. Do you think that you could come in and help show me how to how to get on the website?
I can't come into your home. I really encourage you, however, to, if not, go to the website. So maybe look around your community online on social media, maybe see the things that we're talking about. And I hope to see you on Election Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Great job. You held on. You were like, oh God, this woman.
Because yo, you gotta understand, fam. Logan is asking me to come inside her home.
I think you did a great job. I think that, number one, you came in with that you were very approachable. You were very friendly. It made me want to say yes to you. And I feel like, I tried to stump you with something. And I think that that's difficult, because it could be that maybe someone doesn't have that access. I think that we would find it maybe unbelievable that someone might not have that access, but they might. And so I think that that's something maybe after this we can continue to talk about, is where you can send someone to go if they're having difficulty getting online. Like, maybe you have a number that you can give them, they're called locally, and also by mail. Would be another good recommendation.
Yeah, especially given that we are in a pandemic, like you mentioned, and you won't really be knocking on people's doors, and you won't be able to have like flyers to pass out to them. Just being able to say, well, there's also this number, like Logan said, or you can mail in your registration. That's, that's something that I didn't think of either. And
right.
It's like, oh yeah, you actually can't leave a flyer to register.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Great job. Good job not going inside. You have no idea. I could have been like the lady in Hansel and Gretel. Is that the one where she like picks them up? I could have like put you in a stew or something. You have no idea.
Zach, we'll come back to you, and then Logan will role play with Kiera. So Kiera, you ready?
Hi, my name is Kiera, and I'm with Rise and Vote. I'm registering people to vote because I'm not able to vote yet, but we need people to vote on issues that are important to our community. Are you currently registered to vote?
No, I'm not. And if I'm being honest with you, Kiera, you're really sweet, but I just feel like the government is like, it's all like BS. They're way too intrusive. I really don't want to be involved. I don't understand like why I should even care, honestly.
No problem. If you change your mind, you can always register at www.vote.gov. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're so sweet to me. I was like trying to really, I was like, come on, like get into it with me. And you were like, nope, I am not going to stoop to this level. But I will say, if someone, because, you know, that is a conversation that I have with friends of mine. I have friends of mine who all the time, I'm like, hey, they'll tell me they might not have voted. And I'm like, what? How could you have not voted? And they go, well, I didn't like either candidate. And it's unacceptable. And I think that that's something to continue to cultivate, is to like Lo talked about, and there are so many other reasons to register to vote. Their local communities, like like Zach mentioned earlier, like what are the other things, and telling and giving them that, the fact that you're young, like vote for me. Like I wish I could be doing this. But I think you did a fabulous job.
I totally agree. You're so sweet. And I think that's the best way to get people to listen to you, because it could have been very easy for Logan to close the door in your face, like some people might. And so I think you trusted your instinct and you avoided confrontation, which is super important for your safety. So if you ever feel like, oh, this isn't my space, that's understandable.
And you gave them the information. You still left them with the website.
All right. So we're going to now see what it looks like when it's not so easy to get someone to vote. So Zach, take us away with this role.
Hi, I'm Zachariah Noah, and I'm just coming to you to let you know that Election Day is coming up very, very soon. And I wanted to know if you ever, consider, if you're looking into voting.
I hadn't really, it doesn't really appeal to me. I just feel like I have better things to do. I don't know, why should I even waste my time, honestly, voting?
Because, I feel like you think when you're saying, like me coming to you and saying, can you vote? You're thinking why would I conform to a powerless number on the ballot? And I'm saying to you, nah, I'm saying we could go, there's many different things. There's state governors, senators inside our community. I'm saying we could go together and actually, our vote can be very different than a president or here nor there. We could actually be assertive with our voice. I'm not saying to wait until November. I'm not saying to sit and watch this stuff that's going down in Minnesota. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let's go unite. Let's go be assertive and let's go do that together.
I hadn't thought about it like that. And, now that you make me feel a little less alone, I feel a bit more moved. So thank you. Thank you for that.
It's been a pleasure. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Always.
Wow. Give him these trophies. Kiara and Zach get trophies today. That was really, I honestly, I kid you not, I was actually genuinely moved. I felt like Logan, genuinely, if I ever had any hesitations and reservations, I just felt very inspired and moved. I feel like that's something I feel from both of you, is that it's the idea that we're doing this together. And that's what is important, is understanding that our individual voice matters because we are doing it together. We're uniting. That was incredible. I mean, I think everyone would agree that you did an amazing job. You both have done incredibly. What would you say, Lo?
Yeah, I think both of you, no matter what situation Logan presented you, you were able to respond personally. I think that's really important. And that's a great tip that she gave us at the very beginning, is make sure you're being yourself no matter what. And you guys were both so individual in your responses. And like Logan said, it's so moving to see that, especially with youth. And Kiara, you mentioned I'm not able to vote yet. I need you to help me or my community and be the voice that I can't be. And Zachariah, I really appreciate you trying to build the community aspect of it, because if anything, the reason people don't vote is because they feel like they don't matter or their voice isn't enough. But as soon as you start banding them together one by one, it becomes a much louder voice. And so both of you had great stump speeches. I think that's a recommendation for anyone trying to vote is, make sure you have a reason why you want to vote or why it matters to you. And that way it can inspire others, because that personal connection is undeniable. And it's way harder to say no to someone when you know a little bit about them.
I just want to say to you, this is a reciprocated, a sense of understanding unity, to where even today, when I woke up, I was like, I really got to figure this out myself. I really need to go figure out some type of resource. I really need to figure out how I'm going to drive a car. What material, what am I going to wear tomorrow? What happens when I step outside my house tomorrow and nothing changes like that? And that's probably the biggest fear, to think that these months that I have been spiritually inclined to manifest and cultivate actually is the hood. That biggest fear of I am actually in an apocalypse that's never ever going to change. That fear. So that's something I have not been able to express.
Thank you for sharing that. Seriously, thank you so much.
I'm a big fan of your part on the show, and I really do appreciate you being here at the time because you are very inspiring on the show and in real life. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been incredible. And I have to tell you guys, I'm sure from your end, it's maybe cool seeing me, but you have no idea that it's really touching and moving and inspirational for me to see you, all three of you, and to have this time with you. And I want you to know that as young people using your voices, it's inspiring because when I look at you, I see myself. So when I look at you and I see that you are asking, you know, someone who has the right already to vote in terms of their age to use that voice, it moves me a lot. I mean, you guys, you can look at the news now and see that young people are the voices. If you look at history, you see that, you know, college students have always been the beginnings of movements, and especially around voters' rights. So you are in a very important position. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking that just because you haven't reached the age that you're not. So I thank you both for being very present and eager, and your friends are lucky to know you. And thank you, Lauren, for continuing this work, and it's inspiring to me. I thought that I was just gonna like do role play, you know, on a Zoom, and this has recharged me in a way that I could not have anticipated. So I thank you so much for today. I really do.
We really appreciate it, Logan.